Hey everybody, this is Munson Steed, and welcome to Rolling Out Health IQ, where we bring the most dynamic individuals who are making a difference in how our health outcomes, health equity, health careers, and our really IQ about what and how we should consider our health careers and life to be. It's in our hands, but we can actually hear from subject matter experts. Today, I am joined by the one and the only Ulysses Johnson III. That's it, one, two, three. How are you?
I'm well. How are you today, sir?
Yeah, I'm cool. Obviously, HBCU day to day and health IQ. Why healthcare? And can you just describe, just kind of give you a title and describe why? What made it something that you were attracted to?
Well, first of all, my title consists of I am a certified registered nurse anesthetist, which is an advanced practice nurse that has either a master's degree or a doctorate in nursing anesthesia. But pretty much I provide anesthesia in all clinical settings. And the background with that comes from my mother was a nurse. Nursing was always my path ever since like high school because I like helping people, I like healing, and also I like to be a reflection of what the diversity of our country actually is because it's not every day when you walk in the room and somebody who looks like you is taking care of you. So that's what really pushed me in a direction and to take it even further by stepping into the advanced practice role as a nurse anesthetist.
Rewind it back, take me back to Grambling State, tell me like I was a freshman that there was these opportunities and these motivations that were inside of you. That what motivated you? What inspired you to desire to learn and to obviously become a healer in our community?
Well, what motivated me the most is coming from a place of where you are always counted out. So I wanted to show people that I can do it and you can do it too, because I feel as if my little motto is like I'm a walking solution. So I try to cut out a lot of those excuses of, neither one of my parents, they don't have college degrees, both of them went to technical school, things of that nature. Didn't grow up in the best neighborhoods, but at the end of the day, I had the drive to want more and to do more. In order to do that, I had to make sure I went into a field where I could make a difference, number one. And number two, have the job security. Let's be real about it. You can't walk in there majoring in basket weaving and think you don't get out and make six figures. Like that's not what it is. And at the same time, yes, I was at Grambling. I was a member of the world famed Tiger Marching Band. And a lot of time people get lost in the sauce. You get caught up in college life, Greek life, and all this stuff. But my thing was, yes, I love the band. Yes, I love my frat. But at the end of the day, I came to Grambling to be a nurse. So I always kept focused on what my primary focus was for being there. And that way I can be an example for others to follow.
It's pretty purpose driven there, but that's not unusual for Grambling. I mean that the whole idea of even playing in a band is discipline, takes teamwork, obviously the value that you share. But I think you we talk about future proofing ourselves as a community. What should we know? And because obviously it came obvious to you, but for many young people, they're looking to meet you. And if you were that whisperer into some of those young people's ears and you're going to share with them the vision of being and becoming, you know, the next generation of you, what would you share with them three things on why they should definitely consider, you know, being an anesthetist, getting that advanced degree? Because you could have stopped. You still would have had a job. But what is the distinguishing factors in those three?
For me personally, my main thing is, my philosophy has always been to practice with patience and care with confidence. So in this role as a nurse anesthetist, it's almost like top tier in the profession of nursing. And so my top three things for my reason for doing it, number one, I want to be in a place where I'll be optimized fully in my skill set and my knowledge ability. And with that being said, this is an area where there's not many minorities in it already. Out of like the 70,000 CRNAs in the country, it's only 4.5% of that are people of color. And then you start looking at brothers that are in it, and those numbers are even tighter. So my thing for telling people if they want to do it, number one, you need to do it because you actually have the sense to want to heal. to want to be an advocate for your people and for your community and not just chase a dollar. And I'm just being real. We all like money. Money is good, but I feel that the reason why I'm able to resonate in my field is because people see the essence of who I am and they can feel what I'm doing. It has come from the right place because a lot of times I can't put my finger on it. I know it's a being higher than me that works through me that allows me to have the outcomes that I do. So that's my personal thing. Everyone has a different thing, but my thing is this job security. You're making a difference and you setting in a role to where you're pretty much you're the captain of the ship. So in order to step in that role, you have to have the confidence, know you can come in there and demand that room. Because at the end of the day, the surgeon can't cut till you say cut, and they have to stop if you tell them to stop. So to give my patients a sense of reassurance is the fact that they don't know me. So I have a 5 minute window to win their trust of mama, daddy, auntie, everybody who sized me up as soon as I walked in the room when they thought I was there with housekeeping or with transport. I'm like, no, sweetheart, I'm here to put you to sleep. So that right there is already a barrier. So in that small window of time, I have to let them know that, hey, I'm here to do a lot of things. I'm your bartender before you go to sleep, and I'm your bodyguard while you sleep. So I'm here to make you feel good, look good, and feel safe. That when you close your eyes, if someone allows you this most vulnerable part of their life, you have to give them the reassurance that, like, I got you. I'm gonna be there at the beginning, at the end, because at the end of the day, I'm here to make sure not only that you go to sleep, but to bring you back. And if I gotta come in there and get you, I will.
It's that trust that you are obviously just describing. There's a lot of anxiety when you are at that moment. It is the most vulnerable. And to know that you are with someone like yourself, what are the things that you want people to understand that they're doing so that they can get some of that anxiety out of their body when they're there?
I'm glad that you asked that because I get faced with that a lot. And the main thing, number one, get off of Google and stop watching all these, medical shows and just take the time to just talk to the clinician that's here to take care of you. And I tell them all the time, it's a lot of safety measures that are in place to give you the reassurance that we're here to make sure that we're monitoring everything. As soon as before your eyes even close, we're monitoring your vital signs, we're monitoring your heart rate, your blood pressure, all these different nuances. And there's always a set of eyes on you at all times. So I never disregard people's anxiety, but when I see someone that's anxious, number one, I don't let the room rush me. I take that time, like, hey, tell me how you feeling. What's going on? What's going on with you today? Because at the end of the day, I don't look at them as just a patient or just a body. They're a person. So I'm gonna come down on their level. Sometimes I'm bending down. I'm not. Sometimes it could be intimidating. I'm a big, tall black man with a southern drawl, and I'm up here in New York, so they could throw a lot of people off, and I get it. But at the same time, that southern drawl also gives people a little bit of peace as well. That's a conversation starter. Oh, you talk from the South. Where you from? Da, da, da. So here we go. You're not even thinking about the anesthetic. You worried about who this big black man in here and why he talks so country and does he know what he's doing? Before we know it, we're joking. We're talking about the kids and the mamas and all that other stuff. Then before you know it, we're in the room and I'm like, hey, baby, we about to ready to go to sleep. Okay. I want you to go somewhere nice and warm. Listen to the waves crash to the shore. My whole little spiel to kind of bring that calmness to them to the point that the people in the room like, shoot, we ready to go to sleep too. Like, what's up? So you have to have a sense of emotional intelligence to be able to read the room, recognize those anxieties and uncertainties within people. And that's a skill set that you don't always acquire in school. That comes with time. That comes with, I look at my time at Grambling State University. It didn't just teach me how to be a nurse, it taught me life lessons. And I tell them that's the essence of HBCU, the experience that you walk away with. You really come out very well-rounded and ready to tack on whatever's thrown your way.
Just the empathy that you're sharing, uh, makes me proud to know that there's someone who is an example, then not just an average example, above average example, because we need as many above average examples in healthcare as possible. But we think of Chadwick Boseman that you know if you don't come see you and get a colonoscopy, what is our community really missing by not understanding. Okay, well, I hear they're gonna put you to sleep if you go get one of those. You sure you want to get one of those? What do we need to understand that even how important it is that you're there to make that journey easy and that we need to get colonoscopies?
I am a strong advocate for that. And the reason why I'm in the position I am, I have two jobs. I work full time in New York City, then I work up in Buffalo part time at an endoscopy center because that's near and dear to me because I've lost three close family members to colon cancer. And the significance of it is it's the nuances. I woke up, somebody's gonna be up my butt, all these different things. But at the end of the day, I'm there to give people the reassurance, like it's all about early detection and prevention, you know. And now that if you have a family history, now they're pushing the age back. If you have a family history of colon cancer, you can get your colonoscopy at 40 versus 45. It's all about preventative treatment and to catch it early. So I tell people that, I know it's a lot of anxiety comes along with it, but it's going to be the best nap you've ever had. I tell people all the time, it's like, listen, it's going to be the best disco nap you've ever had, and I'm the best bartender to do it. So now I try to get out in the community and let people know, like, look, this is a real thing. And, from diets, is like we're starting to see polyps and things in this, and even earlier people, like people are coming in for routine issues, bowel change and stuff like that. And then we look up and they had a polyp and they're in their 30s. Now, what if they would have waited until, 45, wherever the standard time is, that little polyp, which is pretty much like a pimple inside your colon, can literally turn into something worse. So the key to it all is early detection and to know that this is nothing barbaric. You're not even gonna remember even going into the room. You're gonna wake up nice, clear, and wonder when do we start. I'm like, look, we already done. Go ahead and pick out lunch because you better get up out of here. So that's how I try to get them to see the fact that I understand the anxiety. I understand the uncertainty. So that's why I think that the nursing in me, because at the end of the day, I was a critical care nurse for 13 years before I went back to anesthesia school. Because that's a prerequisite. You have to have critical care experience before you can step into applying to be a CRNA. So that empathy and compassion and just bedside manner and having a praying mama just gives me that overall, recipe to come in there and do what I need to do to bring these people to where they need to get to safely.
Ulysses, that brings us to, that special moment. Obviously, we want you and our biggest Black Panther moment to be there. You are a brother with superpowers, and we thank you. What's it like when you and God work together and you happen to be on a plane and God calls and nobody knows that it's just you and God, and you got to know that you on God's journey to give somebody a life and you're 35,000 feet in the air. Can you describe that for us?
That right there, you started out right where it was. It was God, because at the end of the day, even leading up to that, I wasn't supposed to be on that flight, number one. My flight was canceled, so I was placed on that flight the next day. Number two, I was coming from an anesthesia conference and I had on scrubs that actually had diversity CRNA on it. Now, me personally, I'm just being real. A lot of times when I'm out and about, something go down, oh, we need a medical personnel. Sometimes I kind of like, you know what, let somebody else do it because I don't want to get in the shuffle of all that. But in this particular situation, I was actually asleep, already taking off music in my ear. And then I heard grab the AED. AED is like a defibrillator machine that the lay people use out there in the public area, whatever. So if I'm hearing that and I'm thinking I'm dreaming, I'm like, Lord, why am I dreaming about work? Like it's time for a vacation. Because literally I was like, why am I hearing about AED? And I so happen to open up my eyes and I see the commotion. So I'm like, oh, this is a real issue. This is not somebody blood sugars are going to drop or somebody needs some crackers or got too hot. Like you grab the AED, it's balls to the wall. We got to get to it. So I was like, all right, dude, go ahead and get up. So I went up to where the first class area was. I introduced myself. Hello, I'm Ulysses. I'm a nurse anesthetist. How can I be of an assistance? And the passenger was still seated, had the oxygen on, but I couldn't see his face. I saw the back of his head. And one of the flight attendants were like, oh, we have a doctor here, so you can go have a seat. So I was like, say less. So before I got ready turned around, because one thing I'm not about to do is go back and forth. I know what I'm here to do, what I can provide. But when I got ready turned around, before I turned around, I just wanted to take a look at the passenger before I turned around. And that's when I noticed he was already blue, taking agonal breaths. So at this point, this is what I'm trained to do. Take command, take ownership, and clear the way. So at that point, I don't care who was there, whoever was there was not performing at the ability they needed to be at that time. So at that time, I said, get him on the floor. And then looking at me, I said, get him on the floor now and start compressions. Where's the West Side system? Where's your first aid kit at? Like, start getting your stuff together while I work on this. So that doctor that was there, I said, you start working on the chest. I'll keep the airway open. And we literally turned up. We had no pulse. He was blue, diaphoretic, pretty much was 1 foot on the grave, 1 foot on the banana peel, to be honest. So continue to work, continue to work. Finally, somebody came up with AED, hooked him up to the paddles, got a shockable rhythm, shocked him like twice, kept doing compressions. Then, thank God, a trauma nurse walked up. I said, "Oh, you're a trauma nurse. Bet. Open that bag up. Give me that ambu bag. Now give him a rescue breath." So I pretty much orchestrated the entire code, which is what we do when things go down, and we got the man back. I thank God for that, because a dead body that high up in the air, that plane would have lost. It would have, the people would have lost their minds at that point. And the reason I know he was really in true distress is when I got down there with him, because you wake up disoriented, and I'm type of person. Sometimes body on body has an effect. So I literally laid down on the floor with this guy to give him the reassurance, like, okay, you good, calm down. I don't want you to hurt yourself. But when I got down, I realized like he had already soiled himself. So one time when you lose all your fluid, that's how you know you're on the way up out of here. If not already there, but we kind of got you back on this side of glory. So I knew it was nothing but God from the beginning to the end, for me being there, for me hearing, that even though I was asleep with music playing in my ears. So I know it gave me another sense of not being so upset when things are not quite going my way. Upset, I missed my flight, I had to call off from work, then my job gave me a hard time because I'm calling in, and little do they know, 35,000 feet in the air doing what I do to represent the profession well.
What you called to do.
There we go.
What you called to do.
Because he works through me.
Right, right, right. Well, I am so proud of you. I think that the beauty of what you've acknowledged and at least shared with me is the very vessel that you are for so many, to give them both hope and then a lighthouse for those in the future to know. Obviously, as my HBCU brother, I'm super proud because we got to keep more lighthouses that light up the future for our young people to see. But I really want to thank you for being also something I am, which is a loving son, and mentioning what it is to have a mother that loves you like no other in this life. So thanks for coming to Health IQ, Ulysses Johnson III, and giving us such a vibrant, beautiful solution to increasing our health and our faith in a system that we are often make excuses for our fears versus trusting the process, getting closer to our healthcare providers, even of color. So whatever you do, check it out. And a super thanks to you today, Ulysses Johnson III.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for getting the story out there, and anything I can do to help. That's what we're here to do. We're here to heal. We're here to acknowledge and to educate and look out for our people.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Peace.
Have a great one.